So, so then I just ended up making another stand. So the way I went about this was would just click the top. So this is exactly how you want it displayed. And then I would just work on the same sketch plane. And then for what I did, I just clicked the most bottom portion over here and actually started a line. And then you can make this, I just want to make sure it's parallel. And I come up to the actual edge of the pizza planet. So once you have this kind of like rough shape, then you can hit E. I guess I'll need to offset this. I want to real quick. Hold on. Oh, okay, so it created a new sketch instead of working off the original one. That's why it's not completely enclosed. Um, so we've got offset. So you don't really need much. So I'm just gonna do offset by 0.1, yeah, so 0.1. Now I'm gonna trim the rest of this real quick. So just make sure it's a closed shape. So now we have this whole shape. You can just click on this. You can drag it down as far as you want. I guess I went a little farther over, but I guess 44 would be the most you would want to do just to end with the back plate. So then from here, if you want to make this little kind of like a connection point too, you just hit done on this and you would hide those other portions. I guess if you just want a wedge right there, it'd be fine too. Let's see, let's turn off back plate, turn off edge. Okay, so now we're left with this. And this is where, um, because this isn't a flat plane, you can't create a sketch off of it since it's curved. I'm just going to click on the back and sketch right here. And I just want to make sure it's around this area. So I'm just going to make a square roughly over here. Doesn't have to be massive. And when you hit E, push this up. Remember it, so it defaults to what it wants, it thinks you want to do. So right now, because you're going through the piece, it thinks you want to just subtract from it. So we can go in here, click new body. So now it's right there. You can readjust this, realign it anywhere you want. Even tilt it a little bit so it's just more even with the shape. So let's say we have that. This is where I would come in and hold as I'm holding shift, I'm clicking the edges and then add a chamfer to it. And then so that's just dragging the arrow, pulling it towards itself. And then honestly, even something like that would be fine. And then you can connect these two bodies together with the union tool. Yeah, so now that's completely separate. So then you can turn back on the outer edge. I guess I didn't watch how well this was, but just make sure you pull it up from the bottom. I guess if you hit E, just shrink it in, it's fine. So now, once we're here, I could take that new body and the back, and then subtract this. So this is the positive, that's the negative. So no, we want to switch it. So we want this to be cut from the positive. And then remember to keep all bodies and then hit done. All right, so now you have this nice little stand. Like from the Pizza Planet one, I didn't move it over and I just went from here to here. So just play around with exactly how you want it to look. And then when you move it out of the way, you'll have your registration key. Well, this kept both of the back plates. So we'll just turn that one off. And then that will be the registration key. Just make sure you don't go all the way through like I did on this one. But does that answer your question, Ryan? Perfect. Just delete these real quick. All right, any more questions before I move to the LEDs? All right, it looks like no other questions.